It's just wonderful to do this again. You be from 20 to 92, it's just great.
Hearing a great, fantastic story of an individual who gets a chance at 92 years old to go back and fly in the aircraft, essentially the war that changed the world, is a phenomenal story.
I didn't think I'd ever get to do this again, and loved doing it when we used to do it.
When Tom Mohan flew these as a young man, they were shooting at him, and he was a rear gunner in this aircraft, one just like it, on Guadalcanal, which was one of the most pivotal battles of World War II.
And those guys, you know, they were the pioneers. You know, they figured out a lot of what we do today.
They learned a lot of lessons the hard way that made it a lot safer for us.
They were 19 years old, 20 years old, and I have the privilege of flying some of these World War II airplanes now in air shows, and I know how challenging they are to fly. And these guys were doing it with very little experience.
A week after the attack on Pearl Harbor, Tom Mohan enlisted in the U.S. Marines. Following boot camp, he was assigned to aviation, and at the age of 19, he was flying missions with decorated pilot Arthur O'Keefe.
I asked him, so what do you have to do to get to fly in one of these? I could see there were two-man planes. And they said, well, if you can, the first 12 guys that can pass Morse code, 8 words a minute, can get to fly. And I was one of them.
The rear gunner takes up his position, and you start her up.
O'Keefe and Mohan flew in the Douglas SBD Dauntless dive bomber in the Marines Bombing Squadron VMSB 232. Despite being originally outnumbered in air power over Guadalcanal, they flew above the odds.
At full speed, it does about 200 or 250, and a Jap Zero could do 400. So you had to fight like the poor Indian did. He was fighting against rifles with a bow and arrow. And so it kind of felt that the way to use that type of plane best was to get up in the air, get above the clouds, usually about 2,000 foot high clouds, and go for wherever you were sent, wherever the target was, and then come back low on the water. So in 3 months, I got there August the 19th, and I left October the 13th. And we sank 11 ships.
Documenting heroic stories like this one is the mission of the Missouri Aviation Historical Society.
We're losing our World War II veterans at an alarming rate. The World War II guys are in their mid-90s, like we talked about with Tom. So we really don't have much time. We need to get out there and get these histories recorded.
Thank you.
I think in that generation, and I know my grandfather's generation especially, that they didn't tell anything about, again, here we are. I hadn't heard any of this stuff, okay? So it's good to document it for the families that maybe had never heard it.
What we're trying to do with the Missouri Aviation Historical Society is to preserve, document, and communicate the history and significance of aviation in the state of Missouri.
The organization holds open meetings the third Thursday of each month at the Creve Coeur Airport hangar. Each packed event honors Missouri's rich aviation history and celebrates regional aviators in all fields of space and aviation technology.
There's a hunger for history out there. We need to promote our historical heritage. In this case, we're dealing with aviators and aircraft production and the folks that were involved in that.
I think it's even more important to take a step back in time and realize those that have walked the path before you and how foundational that is to someone like me who's in the Navy.
If it had been for their generation, we may be under somebody else's rule today. They literally saved the world.
Oh, felt like you were 20 again. Felt like unbelievable. They're a little noisy. It seemed a little noisier, but you never noticed that when you were 19 or so. But they're beautiful, wonderful. I'll never forget this for the people that set this up and helped me. So this is a new adventure for an old fart.